Time is running very fast, and as the clock tickles towards 2027, Kenyans are waiting with bated breath to see who the opposition will unveil to take on William Samoei Ruto. Because the truth is, Kenyans are tired of this administration. They're really waiting to see who is going to give Ruto a run for his money. Is it Kalonzo Musyoka? Is it Fred Matiang'i? Is it Martha Karua? Because the fact is, if the opposition is very serious about winning 2027, then they must never remain fragmented. There must be one opposition candidate. Now, as this is happening, Kenyans are waiting for the voice of Raila Odinga, and Raila has kept many guessing. Raila is going to play a very pivotal role in the next election, either as a kingmaker or a spoiler, depending on the move that he takes. Because Kenyans believe that Raila has got three very viable options. Number one, Raila can decide to go for the 6th time and try if Kenyans will consider him this time round, having learned from his mistakes. The problem with this option is that if the opposition is going to remain united, then Raila is going to find it very difficult to find a strong running mate, because Raila must pick someone from the other side of the nation. Raila cannot pick, as the political standings are now and their realignments, Raila cannot pick someone from Western. That will be like the neighborhood. It was viable in 2007 because Mudavadi, Ruto, and all these people were on his side. So this time round, he cannot pick someone from the Western, or he can decide to pick someone from the coast. But very many people believe that if Raila picks someone from Mount Kenya or Eastern, then at least that is a combination that is workable. The other option is Raila joining William Samoei Ruto, and he retires from politics, hand over his support to William Samoei Ruto. Now, the problem with this is he's not very sure whether everyone who supported him earlier will render his or her support to William Samoei Ruto. It is a question that has been bothering many. And then, once he hands over, then what is the position of, for example, the sycophants from Mount Kenya, those who still praise and William Samoei Ruto? Is he going to still give them a running mate, or he will pick a running mate from the Luo Nation? That's another option. Now, the third option, which to me seems to be the best, is to pick someone from the opposition, and in my opinion, just my opinion, he should endorse Kalonzo Musyoka, then retires from active politics. If he does that and hands over his support to Kalonzo Musyoka, then Kalonzo gets the support of Mount Kenya with his support together with the other remnants from the other regions. Then Kalonzo is definitely going to win the 2027 election. But you've seen that Raila is now the center of attraction. William Ruto and his allies are begging for his support publicly. They're not hiding anything. But it's also understood that the Rigathi camp is also trying to woo Raila Odinga, be their running, either to endorse him as the 6th or to request him to endorse one of their own. There is this speech that Ladwa made that a fortnight ago, Edwin Sifuna met in a church with Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Waititu, and according to Aladwa, he believes that this is the hallmark of betrayal to the ODM party.
Nataka kuambia Sifuna, wewe senator, siku zako za kwenda zinakaribia. Na the same Sifuna ndio yeye anatumiwa na Gachagua. Hata kwa wakati impeachment ya Gachagua alileta kisirani. Alipiga tu kura ya impeachment ya Gachagua kwa Senate chingo upande. Na tunajua sasa yeye ndio candidate wa Gachagua na hiyo team kama candidate wao hapa governor seat. huyo Sifuna ambaye anajiita Secretary General wa ODM, yeye ndio candidate wa Gachagua, na tunajua hata last week but one amekuwa na Gachagua na Waitito na kina Kalonzo kule kanisa Kawangware. Yeye tunamtakia kila heri, najua ameshatoka ODM, acha kudanganya watu kwa ODM ati Secretary General. Alishaenda kwa mambo ya kwa watu wa Gachagua ambao wanakutana kule.
Now, for those who have studied the kind of politics that Edwin Sifuna is playing, we believe, or it is trusted, that Sifuna could have not gone there without the blessing of Raila Odinga. As the Secretary General of ODM, he had the blessings. And so, for him to accompany Rigathi Gachagua, who is believed to be the arch nemesis of Raila Odinga, there was a hidden plan that was going on. And many experts are now trying to connect Edwin Sifuna to be the link between the opposition, or rather the other Azimio and Rigathi camp and Raila Odinga. The first question that I want to ask you is this. Do you think there is room, any iota of room, for negotiations between Rigathi Gachagua and Raila Odinga? Do you think there is such a room? The reason why this question is really begging is because if you look at the relationship between Mount Kenya and the lakeside, politically speaking, they are never good friends. They intermarry, they do businesses, but when it comes to politics, especially the national politics, the lakeside claims that Mount Kenya has a debt to pay. And you know the everlasting story that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga endorsed Kenyatta to take over during independence. And then Jomo Kenyatta betrayed him. Then Raila said Kibaki tosha. Kibaki betrayed him. Then Raila presented himself 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022, and they say the people from Mount Kenya never voted for Raila Odinga. So many are saying that this kind of talk is not possible. In fact, if you look at the arguments going on for those who want Raila to join William Ruto, they are saying that Raila has suffered betrayal from Mount Kenya. They're even saying that it was a long con when Uhuru supported him. They're saying Gachagua wanted to kill him, had placed some traps. So that is the question, that the reason why we are asking, do you think it is possible that Raila can have talks that can mature into an alliance? My answer is yes, because in politics you never rule. Let me tell you, you never rule out any possibility in politics. And in politics we've learned from time immemorial that we don't have permanent friends, not permanent enemies. So it is very possible that they can meet and talk and birth an alliance that can send William Ruto home. Now, what are the effects of Raila if at all they talk and Raila accepts to join that group? What are the effects? Because if you ask me, the effects are both positive and negative. If Raila goes to that camp and then Mount Kenya decides to rally their support behind Raila Odinga, the first casualty will be Kalonzo Musyoka, because they have said Kalonzo tosha. So if Raila goes there, I don't think whether Kalonzo can accept to play second fiddle for the fourth time now. He has supported Raila when they were in CORD, when they were in NASA, when they were in Azimio. And Kalonzo can easily run back to William Samoei Ruto. And I understand that William Ruto is very keen that if at all Raila endorses any of those people, especially if he doesn't endorse Kalonzo Musyoka, and then he becomes a flag bearer of the opposition, then he will pick Kalonzo Musyoka to either become a running mate or a prime minister. They are going to play that matrix between Kalonzo and Musalia Mudavadi. So the first casualty will be Kalonzo Musyoka, and I think Martha Karua might not be very comfortable supporting Raila Odinga. So that will be the casualty. But if Raila goes there and says Kalonzo tosha, yes, they will run together and Kalonzo might win that. But what are the other, perhaps do I call, positive effects of this? Number one, this will be a winning formula. That is, I'm imagining, or I'm taking cognizant of the fact that Kalonzo might even accept that our main enemy is William Samoei Ruto, and therefore we are ready to compromise our ambitions as long as it takes so that William Ruto can go home. If Kalonzo, let's say Matiang'i, Gachagua, and I'm talking of their people, decide to rally their support for Raila Odinga, it will be a winning combination. Because if you take Raila's support base, take Mount Kenya that has Rigathi Gachagua has consolidated, take Kalonzo's support base and all the other people, if they decide that we want Kalonzo to go home, then this is a winning formula for them. The only problem is, I don't know whether Mount Kenya, given William Ruto and Raila Odinga, who do you think they can vote for? They are very tired of William Ruto now. But there comes a time when people are approaching the finishing line, something just happens and Raila becomes a scarecrow to Mount Kenya. And so they can even decide to vote for William Ruto. They'll start saying how William Ruto helped their son, Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was going to The Hague. Of course, in this channel, many people are telling me that they get mad when I say that Mount Kenya has never supported Raila Odinga. They say they've been supporting Raila. And I know there is a percentage of those who believe in his political ideologies, but the truth is, majority don't believe in him. So that is the only problem. But if they decide that we want to kick out William Ruto, then that is a winning combination. The other effect would be, it will absolve the Kikuyu nation of this notion that they have never supported Raila, that they still have a debt to pay people of the lakeside. That, you know, as I've said, Oginga supported them, Raila said Kibaki Tosha, they have never paid. If they do that, then they will end this political rivalry. Because there comes a time when they start looking at each other as enemies, and they are reminded, their political de facto leaders remind them very deliberately to ensure that they have very selfish political fortunes. Even today, you've seen people are trying to look for very selfish reasons. That, you know, some people from Karatina celebrated when Raila lost the African Union Commission chairmanship bid, and therefore they say that is enough reason why people should, Raila and his supporters should support William Samoei Ruto. And they're being reminded that, you know, these people have never voted for the lakeside, and therefore there's no need even trying for this sixth time, because they will not. Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017, Gachagua in 2022 used it. They usually invoke that fear that this man can never be trusted. That is the same thing that the Pro-Ruto, the Pro-Ruto ODM leaders are now saying, that these people can never be trusted. But if they decide to vote for Raila Odinga, and by God's grace Raila wins that election and takes oath as the sixth president of the nation, then the Kikuyu nation will take the bragging right. They say, whenever we support you, you go to Statehouse. And so they will have buried all the memories that they have been accused of, that, you know, they have never supported Raila. Uhuru Kenyatta worked hard in his last term. He wanted to end this political rivalry. And the Kikuyu nation vote for Raila Odinga. I can assure you that even if Raila did not win that election, they would have ended that rivalry. So if they do it, then it will mean a fresh beginning. Raila will retire from politics, and the people of Nyanza will say, this time they voted for us to the man. And so, as Sifuna meets Gachagua, many people believe that is being sent by Raila Odinga. Experts believe that Sifuna cannot just do what you see him doing or say whatever you see him saying out of his own mind. He's being set or sent by Raila Odinga to do it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think it is the best combination? Do you think Raila should talk and engage in talks with Rigathi Gachagua? Between William Ruto, if Raila has to retire, between Ruto camp and Rigathi camp. Of course, Rigathi, as things seem to be going, he might not have the opportunity of contesting because he was impeached, and unless the courts do something. And the Kalonzo, if you look at Gachagua, he has supported Kalonzo. So let's just say between Kalonzo and William Ruto, who should Raila support? If you ask me, Raila should support Kalonzo Musyoka. I know people are reminding Kalonzo that, were it not for you in 2007, Kibaki would have been isolated, but you went ahead and helped him. Everyone has made a mistake. Even Gachagua himself supported William Ruto. Now he has made a U-turn. People have made their mistakes. Raila supported William Ruto during the Gen Z protest. So as people go to the table, everyone has a rotten past. As recent as 2 years ago for Raila, as recent as 2 years ago for Rigathi Gachagua, as recent as over 20 years ago for Kalonzo Musyoka. So everyone will be reminded, you have done this, and then people start afresh, because the past will not determine our future today, our future. And I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but I think it is very possible that Raila will become a kingmaker or a spoiler, depending on which side he supports, or maybe he can just be the king this time around. You never know what fate has and what God has for him.